Legacy in Motion is brought to you by BinaPavo, your sustainability, our business. Sunway Business School, fortune favors the prepared mind.
Hi, welcome to Legacy in Motion. I am Dr. Jesrina.
And I'm Dr. Leilanie, and today we have a very special guest, Patrick Sim, Group CEO from Secret Recipe. So Patrick, do share with us a little bit about yourself and about Secret Recipe.
All right. So firstly, thank you for having me here, Dr. Jesrina and Dr. Leilanie. I understand it's the very first inaugural podcast, so I'm very honored to be here. So my name is Patrick Sim. I am the Group CEO of Secret Recipe. I've been with the company for about 12 years now. I started off back in 2013. So before that, I was in a audit. I was an accounting background.
Nice.
So I did my CPA, my professional accounting cert. And then after 4 years, I was a bit bored, and then my uncle gave me a call. It's time to serve, all right? Be part of the family business.
Right.
And I said, okay, let's give it a shot. Secret Recipe is a well-known brand. Let's see what we can do. So when I first went into the business, so he gave me a title, Cost Control Manager.
Wow.
Yeah, so wasn't really well liked. Going in to cut people's budgets and all that, and check on things. But it took me a while to adapt to the business. Initially, it's a bit of culture shock coming from a professional level, right?
Yep.
And then coming into more of a family-owned run business, things are a bit more chaotic, things are a bit more haphazard. But I adapted after a while, got to know the people there more, slowly built my career, learned a lot of things, went to various areas of the business before being promoted to where I am today. So that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, so being the Group CEO, recently minted,
Yep.
do you get free cakes every year?
I could, but I don't.
Because it's cost cutting all the time.
Right.
But Patrick, you mentioned earlier that you have a CPA,
Yep.
and I noticed that a lot of companies, they tend to have accountants to run as the CEO.
Yep.
So how has that helped you in taking on this task as the
Right.
Group CEO? How do you not just manage costs, but ensuring that budget is efficiently being catered for, for
Right.
such a big group, Secret
Right.
Recipe. Yeah.
So the accounting background definitely helped a lot. I think it gave a great foundation on understanding how the numbers flow. Besides that, I worked in audit. So in audit, we understand very well many different areas of the business, particularly on how the numbers flow to the financial statements.
Right.
So that gave me a very good mind for looking at costs and, of course, revenue and managing all these things. But I would say that the numbers is not enough. Definitely, there's a lot of skill sets that have to build on leadership, people skills, entrepreneur skills,
Yes.
which I learned along the way. So accounting is a bit more rigid, but as you go along at a higher level, you need to be more adaptable, I would say. Along the way, I still did an MBA while I was in Secret Recipe, so part-time studying, just to gain more knowledge and understanding, to build myself up to where I'm today.
Okay, lovely.
And maybe you want to share with us a little bit about how Secret Recipe started and also the legacy transfer
Right.
that took place. Yes.
Okay, so it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Secret Recipe was founded back in 1997. Back then, it was founded, so on the family business perspective, actually it was founded with extended family at the start already.
Right.
So Dato Steven was the founder, he's my uncle, and then he started the business with my cousins who were actually bakers. So yeah.
Okay.
So Dato Steven was always had an entrepreneur spirit. He had no background at all in terms of food business
Right.
or technical baking skills. But he was a great marketer. And you might want to, you probably couldn't guess what he did before that, but he was actually a hairstylist.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So when I was young, he used to cut my hair.
Nice.
And the first outlet of Secret Recipe in SS2 was actually previously his saloon. So he
Wow.
converted it. He took a risk back then to change it to the cafe. With his nephews, they started doing the cakes because he saw a gap in the market.
Nice.
So back in '97, if you all can remember, there was no, they don't have the independent cafes you see today,
Yeah.
right? It was either like bakeries or it was like kopitiams, right? Cafes. There's no nice place where you can sit down, in aircon, have a nice slice of cake
Correct.
with Americano.
Yeah.
So it's something very different back then.
Yes.
So that's where he found the gap in the market and he tried. But initially it was quite tough. Tough years. F&B is never easy. But they really took off when they won this award for marble cheesecake. So that's back in '98. So another interesting story about this is they found out about this competition and then they forgot about it. So when they came to take the cake, actually they were like panicking. We forgot to get ready a cake. Then they took one from the fridge and then they just gave it.
Wow.
And so happened it won the best cake.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the cake must be so delicious that,
It also means
Yeah.
that every cake that went out at that time was as delicious.
Yeah.
So it wasn't specially prepared, but it was what a customer would have as
Exactly.
an outlet. Yeah, so that helped a lot, and the brand grew from there. Today, we have about 360 outlets in Malaysia itself. In fact, we have expanded internationally to another 10 countries. And we have another core brand called Hokkaido Big Cheese Tart as well under our
Right.
group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually like the fact that it's being placed outside of Secret Recipe.
Right.
Because it's easy for us to just, whenever I have parties to attend and I don't have time to bring anything, and most of the time I don't have time to bring anything,
Right.
I will usually come to Secret Recipe to get the Hokkaido tarts, because it's so easy. You just park your car outside and just grab it, and it's little bite size.
Right,
Yeah.
So
right.
it's easy for parties.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
that's a
Yeah.
really good one.
And how did the legacy transfer take place?
Right. So I think previously I mentioned that it started off with the extended family already. So as a family business, what happened is more and more family members actually joined the business. Yeah. So just to give you a bit of a background, the Datuk comes from a family of 8. So he has 7 other siblings. He's actually the youngest one.
Okay.
Yeah. So family grew up not in the best conditions. They were from Kelantan, and a lot of them weren't formally educated.
Right.
Yeah. So when they started the business, actually it was a great turnaround for the overall family.
Family.
So I had some of my uncles join as well, some other cousins. Today there's probably about, I guess, maybe 12 of us within. So as more family members came in, what happened is a lot of the older ones, they kind of groomed the younger ones. We learned from each other. And I wouldn't say it's a very formal process to, I guess for myself, a lot of, I guess, personal initiatives along the way on as a family member to try to be better and better
Yep.
to actually help the business progress. In family business, sometimes the challenge is, when the family members have a wrong attitude about things, or they are not pushing themselves to be at the level that you are required, then that's where more internal conflicts come in. But I think for us, we really are a bit more hungry to help make things better. Yeah.
So how do you generally get, these 12 of you?
Yeah.
And I believe there are also other family members who
Right.
are not in the business, but very much, part of the business as being
Yep.
families. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that things are, the spirits are high and it's harmonious among all
Right.
of you?
So I think as human beings, not just families, conflicts always tend to happen.
Correct.
One of the key things that we always need is like clear communication within ourselves. It's not very easy. Of course, sometimes we tend to argue or have different opinions on how to grow the business or what should we do. But I think at the back of it all, we still understand that all of us are in it for the business. We're trying to do what's best for business. Arguments tend to happen, and it should happen, right? I think that it's kind of healthy that we are debating on what to do, but we don't, in the end, take it overly personal.
I totally agree with that, statement when you said that there's disagreements and then we work over it. And I always feel there's an upside to disagreements. It's you care so much for the business, and everybody has that difference in opinions, but ultimately you just want to make it better.
Right.
The goal.
The goal is there, right?
Yeah. And on a lighter note, maybe you want to share with us what is really the secret in Secret Recipe.
Right.
And how did that name came about?
Yeah. So what my uncle tells us in terms of how he got the name is actually it came to him in a dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came to him in a dream, and then it just felt very right. And I think it's a great name.
It is.
Has a sense of mystery around it, and I guess a homeliness. That recipe for that. You think about your mother's cooking, that secret recipe, then you come in to an outlet, and then you feel kind of at home. Yeah. So I think that's what it brings. So what is the secret? Right. I think at the core of it, first is a unique business proposition. If you think about today, we don't really have many direct competitors. I mean, there are a lot of cake bakeries and all that, but not something so similar with ours. It's not like fried chicken where they're directly competing with each other, or coffee. So that has helped us grow. And I think a lot of it is how we scaled the business to ensure that we are able to, because with F&B you have to always try to produce something consistently. And when you have so many outlets and when you try to scale, that's where a lot of F&B people find problems.
That consistency, right? Yeah.
So we are helped a lot by, initially, I think one of the first businesses back then to introduce a central commissary. So all our cakes are baked in-house to maintain that consistency. Then we just send them out. So at operational level, it's easy for them to manage. So we don't have any chefs at all, but we try to make use of the commissary, simple SOPs and equipment to ensure that consistency within the outlets. We have a very unique product. I think still one of the best cakes you can get in Malaysia for that kind of price.
Okay.
And over the years, we've grown, increasing the branding. Halal is also something very important for us. I think a lot of the Muslim community able to get different type of food, especially those that you might not easily get. Let's say a Hainanese chicken chop. Chinese have the option of going to some certain places, but us with the halal, I think they have the option to try this out.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So every time I think I want to be on a diet. But of course that's just wishful thinking. I'm always a secret recipe. But also as I enter, sometimes in my head I will say I'll order a salad. By the end of the day, definitely I will have a cake, a piece of cake or two. So my question is, with people wanting to eat more healthy nowadays, how does Secret Recipe, continue to innovate with, the menu that's being served?
Right. So we do have some options for those that are looking for a bit healthier food. In fact, funny story, our salad actually went viral this year, and it was in terms of percentage, it was highest growing segment from the food.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So there's someone shared on social media. He tried our salad, our Caesar salad, and it was great. I mean, it's always been good, but sometimes when people don't know about it, then it's harder.
Correct.
So it grew quite a bit. Nowadays we actually have this zero indulgence.
Right.
So chocolate indulgence is our most popular cake, but we have a zero sugar version of it now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is lower in calories.
Something we should try today.
Like I said, I'm always at Secret Recipe.
And of course, with beverages, you can get a lesser sugar option and all that. But we try to. It's tough, right? People want to indulge, then they also want to be healthy.
Correct. Yes.
So we're trying to find a good mix within. Yeah.
Okay.
And over the years, right, how did you manage this idea of sustaining your current clients, which have their favorites?
Right.
I'm either their cheesecake or the chocolate cake or any food for a matter, and then moving on into trying something new. How did that take place?
Right. So historically, we started off as a cafe. So like a typical cafe back then, there's probably like just 6 to 8 items on the menu, and they're mostly like pastries, like what you see in some cafes today. But we decided to venture out to do more things. So a full-fledged restaurant with food, beverages, where people can just dine in, and after that they can have a slice of cake. And that has helped us tremendously because today, about half of our revenue comes from the food side of things. Food, beverages, some desserts, whereas the other half is from cakes. And in terms of the menu, we have diversified quite a bit. You can get a pasta, you can get chicken, you can get Western. So like a typical Malaysian style, right? You can get apa pun ada, everything. So you can get, and the variety actually helps because there's options for like a group of people that come and dine in, right? If I want a pasta, I can get it. Someone else want Asian, someone else want Western. So the variety helps. So we try to build it in a sense that people are comfortable, people get anything. And after that, we have launched more exciting stuff. So nowadays, we do a bit more collaboration in terms of our product. We have launched things like a Milo cake, a Lotus Biscoff cake. Then we work with like Lay's chips to launch like their potato, their like a salted egg chicken with their chips. Yeah, so a bit more fun stuff along the way. And we've introduced various things from Japanese to Korean and all that. And so far, it's been quite a good reception. So on the innovative side, we try to do new things, but we still have that traditional part where a lot of the customers are familiar with these things and they still come in. So it's a good mix, I would say.
Okay. So Patrick, I want to go back to you.
Yep.
In terms of you taking over as the group CEO, I'm sure along the way, since you joined in 2013, you've learned a lot. But maybe you can share with us, was there a particular mentor that actually helped you, to be the group CEO you are today? And my next question is, what is one thing that you want to do for Secret Recipe moving forward this year?
Okay. I think the journey to CEO level is you have to be patient. A lot of learning along the way, and it's important for you to cover most aspects of the business, especially all the important ones, and building relationship with people. One of the more important ways to grow is actually having a mentor, as you mentioned. I was lucky enough, I think probably in 2017, our CEO at the time, Dr. Steven, he actually hired external CEO from Guardian. So she was a great mentor. I got to tag along with her as her deputy. And being her shadow, I managed to learn a lot of things on how a more corporate company runs things. Me being a background of more of a local run entrepreneur style. So I picked a lot of things up, and she's really like gracious and generous in terms of sharing with myself. So after 2 years, she left for greener pastures. But after that, I took over her role and continued on to grow the business. But I think mentors, you can have other mentors along the way as well. So at that point in time, while I didn't have an internal mentor, I did make it a point to look externally. So I was in groups like Vistage, and I actually got like external mentors to meet up, once a month, so you can share and learn and and grow along the way. Because they'll give you a different perspective on things, they will question you, sometimes they will push you. So these are good avenues for oneself to grow, especially in a leadership level. Okay, so then the second question was, what is one thing that
you will do this year?
Yeah. Okay, so I think as a second generation, normally we are a little bit different from the first, right?
Yeah.
First generation tend to be they have more entrepreneurial spirit because they're the ones that founded the business. They're a bit more risk-taking. They're more innovative, I would say, in that sense. Second generation, because we go through a different process, right? Sometimes it's a bit more comfortable. We have probably more education in a sense.
Yes,
we go to universities, we do our masters and all that. So we learn various things. And so I think the knowledge base is pretty good for a second gen. And they also learn from the first gen as well. A lot of things. So what we tend to do is we tend to elevate what we already have. So while I didn't come in and turn the whole thing around, I saw a lot of areas where I could add value and grow the business. So back in 2013, at group level, we're probably doing about 200 plus million. So last year we closed at 563.
Wow. Nice.
So and that's being a 2013, we were probably 16 years in already, right? Sweet 16. Today 2025, we are 28 years, and a lot of the large portion of the growth came in the later years. So sometimes we think as a business, we're reaching kind of a stagnant level after a while. Can we really grow? But even using all the same formulas and looking at all our strengths that we have, we are still able to look into different areas we grow. I mean, besides opening outlets, we look at different platforms. And what the second gen journey is better is technology, right? Because we grew up in a different type of environment. We can type faster than our first gen. You gotta help them. I still have to help my parents today with a lot of things online. So we have that natural sense within us, and digitalization is one of the way forward. So that's what we're trying to do, improve the processes. A lot of things I've worked on, including getting more data, more decision making, not through the gut feel, but more through what sort of data that we have, whether it's internal or external, and getting all these little increments that eventually comes to a big increment. So now we're working on the ERP system, improving a lot of the different processes. We're using apps for training versus paper last time.
Right.
So this is probably one of the things that I want to do way forward. Is really to make us a more technological forward company, and it's not easy.
Yes.
The challenging part is, especially when you're taking over, is you have all these people that work for you that you didn't actually hire. They are a bit more aging in terms of your workforce, and technology is maybe not one of their strengths. So it takes time to educate one. Making changes is always one of the hardest things.
Yes.
And I would say the people part is probably harder. Than actually the process itself. So a lot of convincing, a lot of people skills, and patience, I would say. Yeah.
You mentioned patience twice or three times
Yes,
already.
yes.
So, do you consider yourself as a patient leader?
Yeah. I think probably patience is one of my stronger traits, right? I will say that you got to have a good balance, though, right? You can't be over patient because then things won't move forward.
Correct.
You need to know how to push the buttons when you need to do it, But generally, I would say pretty patient. You are also working with not just older generation workforce, but also family members, right? So family members, I think the way we handle them is still quite different from a normal someone that just works for you, right? Employees. You got to listen to them a bit more. You got to understand where they're coming from. After all, you have this question, right? Why did you form the business? and a big portion of it is actually for all the family. So how are we being inclusive of all these different people with different probably opinions and different needs and wants.
Correct.
So then that patient level is something you need.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay, Jess?
And I was just wondering, since this is a family business
Right.
and there's been a transfer
Right.
from one generation to another, what are some of the values that was preserved and you intend to preserve?
Right. So Secret Recipe, I think we generally have been pretty adaptive brand, right? We've changed a lot over the years, and it's something I think that's important, even more important nowadays, to be more agile and adaptive.
Yes.
It is getting harder as just naturally as you are larger, right? So imagine you are on this huge ship to steer to a different direction. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to turn. So then you need to make sure that you have all those processes and people in place that are agile enough to move when you need to. But I'm quite proud that although there was some so for example some challenges along the way. We know about the pandemic.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, everybody actually suffered especially in F&B industry. But we were one of the few, I guess, to be able to grow. We didn't actually, we actually grew 2020, 2021, 2022. And one of the good things is that we were quite ready because we tried delivery even before the pandemic started.
Right.
Nice.
So, I thought about it, right? None of us really like delivery, right? Because of all the high commissions, doesn't make any sense. But I saw it at a different angle. We are getting new customers that we probably wouldn't have gotten if we didn't try. So 2019 we started, and in 2020 when the pandemic hit, all outlets were delivery ready. So we didn't lose out at that point.
Nice.
So I guess the lesson here is, to actually be more forward thinking
Yes.
in trying things out. Although sometimes the logic doesn't show it, but it's more on how we see the eventual future will be.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I always think that that second generation, third generation is the one to bring on digitalization.
Right.
Yeah.
From what I've noticed, that's always that forward-looking. Again, from what you said, it's always different with the first gen because they started the business.
Right.
Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, I think I didn't answer your
Yeah.
question. Right. So what are the values, right?
Values,
Correct,
yes.
Yeah. So I think that just that adaptability was one of them. Besides that, I think we are still very family driven, even with the changing So what has happened is that so at my uncle's level, so there were a few uncles involved with the business. So that whole level actually has stepped down recently in terms of the day-to-day running of the business. I mean, he's still there as a chairman and making some of the major decisions. But a lot of trust has been placed with the next gen. So I work with a lot of my cousins. And then a lot of them are younger, and the 20s. So I think one of our strengths actually is that we have family members from almost every generation. So there are people in their 40s now, early 50s. I'm in my 30s. And then the 20s. So each of us brings a different perspective and strength within. And what we believe is within the family, all of us have a strength and value that covers an important aspect of the company. Some of us are more people forward. So what we do is we work more on the people policies and take care of our employees. Some are more strategic, data-driven people. So they look at the numbers and they can see where we should go. Some are more technical in nature, engineering backgrounds. Some are with renovation, so that we have a lot of outlets that we need to build and all that. So each of us has a different strength, and we try to trust each other in their area, right? And I think that's what is quite helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trust.
Okay, so trust is
One
the
of
word.
their values,
Yeah. Okay. So going back to trust, and you mentioned earlier that communication is very important, and I guess the fact that you mentioned communication earlier, and now we are getting to trust. I can see the correlation there, because
Right.
the more you communicate with each other, the more you will trust each other.
Right.
Right? Yeah. People will start having conflict because they don't trust each other, and
Right.
that is actually because they don't communicate with each other, right? So it's interesting that that you're saying, trust as one of the core values of your family. So my question would be,
Right.
how do how often does the family meet? Not for meetings,
Right.
but do you have a family day that you do once a year or twice a year? How engaging and how together are you during Chinese New Year, perhaps, yeah, or even Christmas?
Right.
So what actually brings the family together, and how often do you do that?
Right. I guess informally, all the festive seasons are Chinese New Year, Christmas, and all that. And then birthdays, we try to celebrate each other. And recently we went on a trip back to Kelantan for Chengbing. Yeah.
Where
so
in Kelantan, yeah, Patrick?
Kota Baru.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where the family grew up. I grew up here, but
Right.
my dad was from there. Yeah, but it's good to look back at his roots and understand where they come from, and understand their struggles. As a start, my grandfather was a first generation immigrant from China, and then they came in, and it's quite amazing. I mean, I'm going a bit off topic, but
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's coming in here and then working not great jobs, and they can raise 8 kids, and he still sends money back to China. So that's a different generation.
Correct.
Yeah. And then today, I think one of the things that holds us is that sense of gratefulness, right? That that you didn't come from such a privileged background. I mean, as a second gen, we are very lucky to be able to get the education and whatever we have today.
Yes.
Because of what the business has built for us, and because of that, a lot of us are willing to give back to the business, right? Be less calculative about things and be willing to help build it, because we know that eventually it's going to help our next generation as well, our children. And the foundation of it needs to continue to be strong, and for it to be strong, there needs to be strong trust within all the family members. Yeah.
So this trip to Kota Baru that you all had recently, I have another Chinese friend
Right.
who had recently made that journey back to China.
Right.
She's Malaysian from Penang, and they made that journey back to China, and meet up with all the the great grandfather and so on. So it was very heartwarming for her,
Right.
and as you mentioned, this gratefulness, this feeling. So, like for you, going back to Kota Baru, what are some of the things that other than being so grateful for to be able to see that journey? What are some of the aha moments that you have when you went back to Kota Baru?
Right. So my dad likes to tell us all the stories of him growing up. Then he will show us, where he used to stay, and then you're like, wow, this eight kids can fit in this house.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a simple life, but he said he was quite happy. And I think some of the food that they love to eat growing up, and this is quite good also, all the nasi and all that. So a story he tells us, back then, even eating egg is like a luxury, right? So what they do is they actually leave some of the egg on their mouth, just to show the other children that I ate egg today.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that helps just understanding how they grew up, and how lucky we are today.
Yeah.
Sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. And I mean, probably you've heard a lot of stories about second, third generations that have a lot of expectations on what they should get, right? Entitled to.
Right.
We try to avoid that. Because we are more on a grateful perspective on what they have helped us build today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there any, from the first generation, was there any message or mandate
Right.
or request that they had put on the second generation when they pass this over to the second gen?
I would say we are not so formal, like formal mandate,
Yeah.
and this is what you must do. And it comes back a lot to that there's this trust that, and it's not built, and it's built overnight, sorry. It's built overnight. It's not something that is just given. I've been working in a company for quite some time already. And a lot of it comes from, I guess, a lot on attitude, on things that once you know this person, you know he's not going to go in and screw things up, and his track record has been good. He's been getting the results. He's not been giving excuses unnecessarily. So with all that in the background, you understand that it's not like I need to give you this particular mandate, right? To do this thing. But he knows that we are going to take care of the business. Yeah.
So
So perhaps just the last two more questions, right?
Sure, yeah.
So how do you envision Secret Recipe in the future? You did mention about your app.
Right.
So maybe you want to tell us about that. And also, what are the roles of the next generation for the future, be it family or non-family, not just in agility, not just in embracing change, but also in keeping the values that we talked about?
Right. Okay, so let's tackle one by one.
Yes.
Okay, so the first part was you were talking a bit about the app, right? So
Yes.
I think that's kind of in line with what I mentioned earlier in terms of what we want to do in digitalizing the business.
Yes.
That's one aspect of it. The app is our current loyalty program. So today we have about more than 1 million members on it already.
Wow.
So it's helpful in terms of engaging our loyal customers. We reward them for spending more with us. They can gain points and all that, and a lot of extra rewards that comes with it. And it helps us actually understand them a lot better because you got data on individuals, how they buy, how they purchase, what's their favorite food, when they like to buy, and this helps us promote the brand a bit better to them. Yeah, so it's more individualized and customized, and the data helps a lot, especially with us making decisions. And with that in mind, with all the technology improvements we want to do, because we have two ends, right? One is the retail end, one is the factory. So on the factory side also, we are working on more digitalizations, how we can be more efficient, whether it's equipment or data, productivity, this sort of thing. We believe it's the future, with the way AI is actually moving in the world. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. So that's one of the things we want to do, a more technological forward company. Second thing is more people forward, right? People are a very important aspect of, especially in F&B, I would say. So we want to put more initiatives coming from a more traditional, people like to say Chinaman background. Generally, employee benefits are not top of mind. But today, we see the value in having good talent, and we are investing more in doing various different things from training and development, employee benefits. We are implementing more forward ways, like now we have work from home, just started. Yeah. And one of my goals is to actually win. We have won so many awards in the past, right? Like business, entrepreneur, marketing, but we have never won an employee award.
Okay, so that would be your next
yeah.
target,
Yeah.
So
Good aim.
that is the aim. Yeah.
Okay.
As we change over this new direction of the company.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's great. That's
Okay.
really great.
Maybe my last question.
Yes, sure.
Right. Was there a second part that I didn't answer?
Was there another question?
No, he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
answer. He did answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So let me ask you the last question. What is the best-selling cake? What is your favorite cake?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So two.
Best-selling cake is chocolate indulgence. That's been for a long time.
Right.
In fact, we call it the national cake
Okay.
informally.
Right. Yeah.
And I believe it's the most consumed cake in Malaysia. Yeah.
Mine also. Whenever I buy cakes, even for birthday cakes, whatever, chocolate indulgence
Right.
is the way to go to indulge.
Mine is actually the cheesecake.
Yeah. Which one?
There's a few cheesecakes, right?
Yeah, we have quite a number of
Yeah,
cheesecakes.
there's a few cheesecakes.
I like the blueberry.
I think there's a New York.
Yes, there's a New
Yeah,
York
I think that's the
cheesecake that's
one.
quite a
Yeah.
popular one.
Yeah.
I still like the original marble cheese, so I kind of grew up eating it.
Yeah.
So it's
The
one
one
of my
that won
favorites.
the 1998
Yeah,
award.
yeah.
That one won the award.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
So is
right.
that still your favorite
Yes,
today?
yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess this is it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
All right,
Patrick.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
so
me
much,
here.
Patrick. You know, I think on our part we've learned so much.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The importance of technology and how Secret Recipe is ensuring that putting into AI, digitalization, and so on into place. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank
we
you
do
so much.
hope that we'll be cheering on Secret Recipe
Yes,
to get
we
that
will.
award
Right.
on people.
Right, right.
Yeah, on employer of the year,
Right.
perhaps. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
We will.
It was very nice having you, Patrick.
All right, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Right.
you, everyone. This is Legacy in Motion.
Thank you.
you.